Look up from your telescope, take me on this journey home. I don't wanna wait no more.
What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane back again with another amazing All-American video. And in this video, we are talking about episode 10 from season 1. Let's get into it. Episode 10 opens on Dylan, Spencer, and Layla, who are kicking it at the park, and we get to see that their little relationship is moving along swimmingly. It's been a few days since the last episode, and they are discussing actually coming forward and being more out in the open with their relationship, letting people know. Layla wants to make sure that Olivia knows first and foremost, and then, letting their relationship be on display. That gets interrupted by a Coop who has decided to continue to make wrong decisions, emotional decisions, ridiculous decisions. As we saw last episode, she was jumped into the gang, and Spencer can see all over her face that what? She was jumped into the gang. And of course, our good boy Spencer got a problem with it. Coop's whole plan is to infiltrate the gang by getting jumped in, convincing everyone that Tyrone got Sean killed, and banking on their loyalty to Sean to have them turn on Ty and kill him. Do this girl even know what a long shot means? Moving right along, back in Beverly Hills in the morning while they're getting ready for their days. Moment number 33, I believe at this point, that Laura Baker is cued in and is showing up for either Spencer or these Crenshaw kids. In this case, it's Spencer. She can peep on his face, in his whole vibe and mannerisms that something's going on, and she takes a moment to talk to him about it. She takes a moment to validate his feelings, validate what he has going on, try to help squelch the fears around some of the things that he has the most concerned about, and then also just reaffirms that he should do whatever it is that he feels like he needs to do to help his community. And we love to see it. But, and this is like a small but, y'all, because for the most part, I'm rolling with Laura. Laura, especially once we get into season 3 and we actually made it through season 3, we know all of what she had to do by way of being DA and her perspective and part in all of the things that shook out in reference to Tamika's death. And we got a full, clearer understanding of Laura Baker. I'm definitely team Laura Baker, right? My only qualm, so I'm gonna get this little short butt here. My issue is how well she is able to pick up on things with other kids that are not her kids. Now, don't get me wrong, she does a much better job than I think Billy does, because by the time we get to season 3, she's like really on it in reference to Olivia and feeling like something is off, feeling like something is weird. But in this moment in season 1, especially when you go back and watch it, it's like, bruh. So one thing that is working for her is that Spencer is a more expressive person. Spencer expresses his feelings, communicates his feelings, kind of wears his heart on his sleeve. So it's understandable that you can see when something is wrong with him. However, for whatever reason, I do think part of it is on her too, in reference to just being keyed in and able to read him. And why is it that you can't do that with the 2 kids that came out of you, sis? Yeah, so even with Spencer being more expressive, I still think that there should be some semblance of a level of being able to understand, check in, and read the vibes of her kids. And it's just not there. Either way, in this moment, this actually serves Spencer to help push him forward in the episode and what he wants to do to feel better about supporting Coop and trying to help her get from up under these gangs, get out of the mess she's getting herself in, and also protecting his community. Now, because he goes on this mission to help his community in this episode, we are introduced a little bit more to Spencer's past by way of his ex-girlfriend Kia, who at the start got a little bit of smoke for him because they did not end well. But she turns out to be the perfect person for him to reach out to in reference to his activism efforts, because she is what? Woke, ready, intelligent, and an activist in and of herself. Now, over in Crenshaw as well, it's Jordan, who is popping up with GW and getting coaching behind the scenes, but lying about it. I do not know why he felt like he needed to lie, especially because he got all bold when he did the whole, was out with Ripley all night, talking about I did something I really wanted to do and stood up for myself, daddy. So, this just seemed really dumb. The key points that we get from the GW interaction, though, is that he can't necessarily say if Jordan is great or will be great. And that's something I think that Jordan definitely needed to hear, because Billy is definitely pacifying him and not pushing him too hard, which is why Jordan is going to GW to begin with. A little bit later in the episode, we get to see Layla hanging out in Crenshaw at Spencer's house. They're washing dishes when Kia arrives, and she's coming to let him know that she definitely is supporting him in the idea that he has. Spencer wants to get a city ordinance passed so that they can stop the gangs from congregating in different parks. They're going to start with the Essence Park cleanup event to try to get people to get signatures. And this scene just really, yeah, it gave us a lot of information. One, it showed us an insecure Layla for the first time when she sees Kia and how, articulate she is, how intellectual she is, and really grounded in doing better and doing for her community. Layla is instantly put off by way of like, dang, she wished that she was doing more and she's not doing enough. But then also once realizing that this is Spencer's ex-girlfriend, and of course that creates a little natural insecurity. But overall, I love the scene because it just gave us a little bit more character development in way of seeing Layla in reference to the Layla and Spencer relationship. But then also we get to see how Spencer reacts when Kia decides like, okay, I'm going to support this or whatever. Now they're getting back on good terms and he feels validated in it. Now, later on, we see Spencer and Kia walking to put up flyers about the event because they actually are able to pull it together really, really quickly. We get a conversation between Kia and Spencer about what has changed, like how did he become this person? He was definitely not this person. And they also talk about why they broke up. And I thought this was really, really great because seeing them interact, but then knowing the last scene that we got the flashback for was like him fighting over her in the hallway and then her giving him an ultimatum and he kind of walked away. So to now see them in this really, really great place, it kind of started to plant the seeds of like, oh wait, could he revisit this at some point? We spent a lot of time in this episode in Crenshaw because we had to get the full understanding of what it looks like for Coop to be in this gang now. So we see her with Tyrone and the crew and doing what they do. And there's actually an incident where somebody shorts the money and they try to put it on Coop, but she's like, look, that's ain't that. Getting further dropped into trust from Tyrone, but then also getting pushed by Tyrone to handle it and to be a little bit more violent. And unfortunately, in the same moment that she does this, Patience sees her, which ultimately puts additional strain on their relationship. Because what? Coop is out here making these decisions and didn't tell Patience why, didn't tell Patience what's going on. So of course it's hard for her to look on and watch her beat somebody with a gun. Like, girl, what are you even thinking? And this just serves as additional running storyline because this is exactly what Spencer's trying to fight against. He's trying to fight against having the gangs operate in this way. When all this happens, it's happening on a park. Like, it's happening at one of the parks that Spencer and Coop tend to hang out at. And the actual Essence Park cleanup event becomes a really, really big portion of this episode. In it, we get to see Layla pour into Spencer, Laura and the fam shows up and supporting Spencer. It ultimately takes a different turn. However, at the start, it's a really great vibe. Now, while the whole event is getting started, Jordan is over there trying to work out with GW, and GW is being very, very hard on him. And luckily, Billy turned up and reminds him that he's just pushing him. Okay, cool. And Jordan basically spends this episode with GW, getting confronted with the ideas of mediocrity, being comfortable, and what it actually takes to be pushed, and some of the dialogue that comes with that. And now, okay, so while GW isn't completely great, I do think that what he does for Jordan definitely helps push Jordan as a person because it makes him step outside of his entitlement and his privilege and really try to work for something. Now, the whole storyline behind Gabby coming for Layla to me was stupid in this episode, aside from the fact that one of the rumors that was presented is that Layla only got cool with Olivia again so that she can get closer to Spencer. And then Olivia is the one who passes it along. And Layla's like, do you believe that? And Olivia's like, no. We kind of move through this episode and it doesn't really get revisited again. And you kind of get a confirmation of the girls' friendship towards the end when Layla winds up confronting Gabby. However, after seeing season 3, that makes it a little bit different. When that statement falls out of Olivia's mouth, it's like, could that really have been a possibility, whether intentional or unintentional? And I think that it wasn't definitely intentional. However, I could definitely see how that could have been an unintentional motive. Because also, when we meet Olivia and Layla in episode 1, they aren't actually operating in a friendly space, right? Like, they're just really kind of estranged. So I'm also thinking, like, what is it that prompted Layla to want to ask to be her partner in class so they would do the project together so they could try to start to make their way back to each other, because all of that only happened after Spencer moved into their house. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below what y'all think. In this episode, we also get to see a moment between Spencer and Olivia where they basically catch each other up, and we learn that Olivia is cool with his relationship with Layla. He apologizes for not telling her, and I think he does that just to be nice, and there's a lot of things going on. And I think that this, honestly, y'all, this just reminded me how much after we got the like hot tub scene and then the run-in afterwards, how much we started to see Spencer and Olivia together the least. Like they interact the least. So while people are going through and talking about it's been a long time coming for Spencer and Olivia to get together in season 3, we also spent a lot of time in season 1 and 2 with them not actually interacting and us seeing him interact with other people in both of the worlds. The big major event that happens at the Essence Park cleanup that wasn't a part of it is the confrontation between Tyrone and Flip. They are both Bloods. However, Tyrone is the terrorist that Spencer is trying to get Coop from up under and get his hold off of the community. And Flip is an OG Blood who is a more respectable one. He's not into the violence that comes with the gang banging unless it is required. And in this moment, it might be required, which is why we get this whole gun standoff. And in this moment, Spencer steps in front of a gun so that he could try to stop the melee that was about to happen. And child, when I tell you my heart, Spencer, don't ever do that again. Go ahead and get into his you know what grace. Spencer scared the out of me too. So I can only imagine how he scared you. And it's crazy that Spencer didn't even register because he didn't get all the signatures that he wanted. He didn't even register the impact that he made. But he made an impact on his mom, on his community, on Flip, just in his speech, him standing up and putting his life on the line in front of everybody, and the overall actions of being able to do it. And we love to see it. I have no idea how some people can watch All American and not like Spencer. Like, I know y'all seen some of these comments around the internet with people bashing Spencer. It's just like, how? Why? Do you see this young man? In a less volatile conversation happening in Crenshaw, GW scams Jordan out of whatever little money he has, and Jordan doesn't realize it until after the fact and then starts to feel a little way about it. Yeah, So maybe this is why you need to be a little bit more honest with your daddy and actually have a conversation so that you can know what you're getting into when you're running around here with your new grandpa. Now, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. The Essence Park scenes were great and I enjoyed them, but my favorite scene of this episode is a conversation between Spencer and Layla when they talk about do they fit. Layla is feeling very insecure and feeling like the things that she's doing in her life and her existence isn't as impactful or as important as she once thought after being immersed in Crenshaw and all of the events of the day. She asks Spencer, do they fit because they seem so different? And then Spencer gives her the most beautiful answer, talking about their differences being the thing that makes them work so beautifully together, and also speaking to the fact that she is the thing that has changed him so dramatically in such a short amount of time. Now, while I think that she, along with him moving to Beverly Hills and being exposed to a different world, has changed him, but this for me confirmed that Layla has such a huge impact on this young man, and she's really helped him grow in a very short amount of time. Because ultimately, he wants to be the best Spencer that he can be in this relationship, and that's a goal that he actually has. You can see him working towards it every single day. Now, by the end of the episode, Coop comes to Spencer because she was approached by Tyrone talking about, and Tyrone came out and told her like, yeah, I'm gonna use you to get to Spencer. Don't know how yet, but I am. And now she's like, yo, I made a mistake. I should have never did this. And she comes to Spencer and they actually have their little moment, their little friend moment. Yes, you messed up. I'm glad you know it. And now Spencer got to help try to figure out how to get you up out of this thing. Like, but he was doing that anyway. But Spencer can help solve the immediate problem in reference to Coop and Patience being estranged. So Spencer gives her a call. They plan a little date night. And Spencer tells her, Coop, to be honest with Patience. And she does. So Coop gets her woman back. And now we are off to figure out how to get Coop up out this gang, how to protect the neighborhood, but also how Patience is going to help Coop make sure that she stays Coop and doesn't get lost in the shuffle. All right, y'all, that is my episode 10 from season 1 breakdown. Y'all have been giving me such great feedback and are enjoying the series, or me going back and talking about season 1. So I'm so glad that you are doing it. Keep commenting, keep sending me things on Instagram and Twitter. I absolutely enjoy it and love it so very much. There's a bunch of new content coming as well. So I'm going to keep these episode breakdowns coming, but I got some surprises around the bend for y'all. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, join the tribe so that you do not miss any of my All-American uploads, including some of the special things that are coming very, very soon. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comment section down below. Be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see any of my other videos from season 1, I have my season 1 playlist link for you on screen as well. And if you want to talk about season 3, here is my All About All American playlist link for you as well. It's your girl Erica Vane, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye.